Flash versus Pawn takes Queen. We have a chess master here. This is the only card I cannot play for now, so that's not too bad of a... Despite not having white, I can still kick it off with this hand here. Opponent could be running the Tribal's Trickery deck, which I think that deck just molds until they find the Tribald or they just concede. Oh no, okay, it's not, but okay. It's the Lesnia Auras, and I think they're just... Yes, that's fine. Draw, discard the... Flood Maw. And pass. Everything is flashy. Alright, well the opponent mulliganed way too much there to even have a fighting chance. So that was a little unfortunate. But I will still consider this game 1 victory. Azorius Flash. On to the next game. Azorius Flash versus Mike CCC. Triple C. Yeah. Okay, mono red, Heartfire Hero, turn 1. I shall play this tapped because I don't have a turn 1 play anyway. My entire strategy for this game is to gonna Alluring Scoundrel. Ooh, it's awful. I'm gonna take so much damage next turn unless I draw into a bounce spell, but even then, yeah. All I can do is play the Scoundrel, put the Sheltering Ghost on it. I hope it doesn't die in response. And yeah, this turn is gonna hurt so significantly much. And then the question is even, what do I shelter away? The Heartfire Hero or the Manifold Mouse? Oh, this is terrible. If they kill this in response to the shelter, I can immediately just concede. Gonna have to take the Heartfire Hero. I smell it. Yeah, they got it. Alright, GG. Quick and easy. Unwinnable, in my opinion. Sometimes, yeah, that's just how it is against the red deck. Alright, on to game 3. Azorius Flash versus Alta Seebär. Another virtuous one. Let's see what we're up against. I hope it's mono red. This is a pretty decent hand against mono red, I think. Because they rely on burst damage, right? So when you bounce their stuff when they're bursting, targeting, then you have a good chance. I'm actually gonna shock this here. I think the 2 damage from the shock are worth it. Worth having the Flood Maw up on turn 2. But I could be wrong. And Sheltered is going to be nice. However, got to be super careful. I want the opponent to be tapped out when I use it. Alright, just 1 damage is fine. That's also good. that I don't have to shock. Alright, let's wait first if the opponent wants to pump another time. Because it's still, priority is still with the opponent here. Alright, now it's my turn, so I shall just use the Flood Maw here. Sure. So that was just 2 Titan Strengths wasted. Playing this tapped here, I might want to use this later. My goal is now to play the Faerie Mastermind, put the Shelter by Ghost in it with Lofty Denial protection. That's kind of what I'm hoping for. Have loftied. No, I couldn't have loftied that. I'm gonna pump. Turn something inside out. Alright, well, let's bounce this again. Oh, but okay, now let's see. Actually gonna use the Eiganjo. I'm gonna play the Mastermind out and just immediately put it on. Yeah, I think this is the best play. Now, I know I'm not attacking with the Mastermind here now. Oh, and it's still actually no, the Ward 2. If they have a 1-mana burn spell or another land, yeah, the Mastermind is still at risk here. I kind of, that was a little risky. That was, I don't think that was the right play. But okay, I didn't get punished for it here. I can't attack though. I can't attack well, so let's not attack. But the if the opponent's not attacking, I'm happy, right? And now I have Lofty. So now I have Lofty Denial up. I have a bounce. I have another creature. I have another bounce. Whew. Okay, here comes the attack. I'm not gonna block. No blocks. Priorities on you to decide if you want to pump here. All right, let's bounce this. Take 5. And then end of turn, flash in the Borrower. And then I can finally gain my 3 life from the lifelink. And I still have the Otawara up or a counterspell. I could even counter this, but I don't want to. That thing as a 1/1 is not a big threat. I could even consider keeping the Brazen Borrower on the defense against the Slick Shot. I think I'm gonna do that, actually. Just attack with the Faerie Mastermind. Gain 3, deal 3 every turn. That should be enough. And just protect that. This needs full protection. I think the opponent is frustrated. And this is a showcase how you can beat mono red. Now I did take that risk there with the Mastermind, and I did leave it open for removal, so that was a risk that I may have. It would have been better to play that differently. However, the Flood Maw really shining here today, or in this game. You know, it just counters all of these pump spells, and if they throw 2 pump spells on a creature, then it's just ultra overkill. I think the opponent has left. So if you're watching this on YouTube, feel free to skip ahead a little bit. I will go into meditation mode while I'm waiting for the rope. Interesting. How bounce is the kind of the one of the better ways to deal with red decks. Here comes the borrower. Only attack with this. Gain the life, pass the turn. Everything flies. The flying animation in MTG Arena is actually pretty sweet. I think they did that pretty well. You know how it just hovers over the battlefield? I mean, that doesn't match how it would work on paper Magic. I mean, you could put a die under your card to make to elevate it from the table. Maybe that's actually a cool idea. But yeah, for a digital version, I think this is a good solution to the flying indication. All right, the opponent has then conceded. All right, nice. A victory versus mono red is always a victory that I highly appreciate. On to the next game. Azorius Flash versus Spiegel 22. Mirror. Spiegel means mirror in German. 22. All right, what have we got? Yep. Turn 1 Faerie. Yes. This looks red. But you can never trust the avatar. Playing this on turn 1 just to get it down, you know, get those counters removed early. Have a target for this, have the Lofty Denial, etc. Ooh. Scavenger's Talent. Should I already do something with that? For now, I will not. Now, you need to be careful, though. The Harvester. I don't really care about that either. Permanent target for your mills. Sure. So I'm gonna use this. And pass. I could shelter it here, but no, for now, I'm not too afraid of these two things in combination. And I can outrace it. However, my lack of lands is what is a little bit annoying or just problematic here. Because sheltering then... Alright, that is something I could consider countering. No. I will bounce. There's a nice land. Another Faerie, and then keep up the Lofty Denial and or Sheltered. Yeah, for now that's a good idea. Starting to get in there. Now I have my second fairy around. I have 2 Sheltered by Ghosts, which, like, my goal is to have Sheltered and back it up with Lofty. Taking a damage here, but it's worth it. Ah, oh, that's unfortunate. So Ward 4. Like 1 Fatal Push plus 4 Ward cost. So if they have 5 mana, they can push the Fairy. However, for now... Alright, let's just attack with the Fairy here. Currently, the opponent is not really... doesn't really have a sacrifice outlet or anything. Also, the ward messes with the Mayhem Devil targeting the Fairies. Okay, opponent is, yep, cycling a card here. They can only target me. Because I know the opponent definitely has some kind of removal in their hand. So that's why playing Sheltered is a little risky. That's also why I would like to have backup. Okay, claiming the Firstborn. They can attack for 9 here. What could... I'll Lofty that. Let's draw an untapped land here. Come on. All right, this is great news. The reason being, can they sack anything here? No. All right, so let's go. Targeting this. Now I'm gonna put both Sheltereds onto the on this one Fairy. The reason being, now they have to pay 6 worth of ward. So now, despite not having counter magic up, the opponent has to pay 6. So, like, yeah, they're 2 turns off of even paying the ward cost. Or 1 turn, 1 more land. No, plus the spell, which in the cheapest spell would be 1 mana, so they need 7 mana just to target this Sleep-Cursed Faerie. Unless they have a sweeper, which I don't think they do. Okay, they got that. Interesting. Good. Fair enough. Gonna take a couple of hits. But now, I'm gonna attack here. Keep up the other one. I can also untap this one. Yep, Ward 6. So that's, yeah, you gotta consider these things with the Sheltered by Ghosts. If the creature dies, it's, yeah, that's a heavy loss to take. Sure. I'll flash in the Mastermind here, so they can also draw. I can untap this, I can flash in the Malcolm. I don't think they have an out here. Like, honestly, with 1 mana, no, 2 mana, how can they get rid of the Faerie? Oh, wait a minute, yeah. Sure, you're milling. Targeting that. Shh, okay. Didn't do anything. Not sure what's happening here. Three other non-land permanent. Just do the Malcolm. Alright, full on attack. Okay, yep, that took some maneuvering and some thinking. Maybe I overthought a little bit, who knows, but Fatal Push is definitely a card that this deck needs to be careful of because it kills every creature except Errant and Giada just instantly, and Errant can be killed if they sacrifice something. So, that's that. And yeah, I had to be very careful how I'm using the sheltered here. So double sheltering the Faerie was definitely the right choice. So yeah, nice. Ward, really, you know, really being an effective way here to protect my creature. Perfect. Another victory for Azorius Flash versus, I think that was Jund. Sacrifice. Azorius Flash versus Jwat? So what? Jay, what? Okay. Keep one creature that has to be protected, that has to be sheltered by ghosts and protected by a lofty denial. I think that's a good plan. Oh, it's another one of those. Okay. I want to play the Mutavault here because I'm still able to play all cards. And it will be online earlier. Now, if I flash in the Mastermind, it's just gonna there is a chance it's just gonna get pushed. But that's fine. Even I don't have another creature up, so it's unfortunate, but okay. They got around me drawing, but still, my Mastermind will be alive now. I will not attack with the Mutavault. I will just attack with the Mastermind. So threat is online. The Harvester will be able to kill the Faerie Mastermind. But what I can do is I can flash in the Borrower. I don't see... The opponent hasn't pushed yet, so maybe they don't have the push. Oh, okay. With that around, okay, they're using that to take care of it. Sure. So, what I will do now is I will shelter this and then keep up Lofty Denial. So let's get rid of the Harvester. Keep up the Denial and attack. The two Flood Maws are not as effective in this matchup, to be honest. So, they can sack it and target this. I think I'm just going to denial that. Because that can actually deal with the Mastermind. Okay. Oh, claiming the firstborn. Wait a minute. Oh, this is gonna be sweet. In response to that... Wait a minute. Okay. In response to that, I'm gonna bounce the oven. Oh, wait. Oh, I lose that too? Okay. I didn't know that, to be honest. Okay, fine. But at least they can't sack my own Faerie Mastermind. Hack him down to 9. Keep up Blood Maw. I'm not attacking with Mutavault because I'm actually considering just using the each player draws a card here to regain a little bit of... Oh, that's brutal. But can they sacrifice something here? At the moment, they cannot. Oh. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. In response to these triggers, I have to draw. So I will draw 3 cards here. Not too bad. The Flood Maw, that's the bad thing about the Flood Maw. It cannot counter, it cannot target the opposing creatures. So this game's looking a little bit more grim. It's slipping out of control a little bit. Oh, that's good. What do I want to shelter? I think the oven, to be honest, as weird as that seems, but I think that's part of a big part of the engine. Don't know if that was the right decision. Oh, they have another one. I can denial that. Come on, let's go for that. I'm putting it all the cards on the table here now. Sure. Should I bounce the Mayhem Devil? If I pay 2, it's gonna go to 1 stun counter. If I play another 2, it's gonna go another one. Should I attack with the Mutavault? Yes. Okay, they're trading. Fair enough. Maybe I shouldn't have attacked. I should have started to untap this. I'm not sure. Oh, this is a good game. This is a good game, but still, it's. Another devil, sure. My fairies are very warded. Alright, here we go. So, definitely want to untap this one. Definitely want to gain some life. And put the opponent close to death. Not far off here. Yeah, that's fine. I'm gonna bounce this. Potentially. Two mana up for the opponent. I have to keep the... I have to observe the amount of mana they have. They have a familiar. They don't have foods. They can use the bloods to create 1 food. No, only creatures die. Okay, so they're actually already digging, but they cannot target any of my Sleep-Cursed Fairies, so that's good. Sure. Damage to me, for now, I don't mind. Opponent has 1 mana up. I have 2 flyers. I have a Lofty Denial. I think we got it. Yeah, I think we got it. 2 more damage to my face. I don't mind. Okay, wait a minute. So mill first. Why are they targeting that? So that they can get a food token, right? Alright, so what are we gonna do is we're gonna bounce the fish. Opponent is out of mana. They can attack with the 2 devils. They won't be able to cast any removal spell on my Sleep-Cursed Fairies. And my fairies are both going to attack in the air. And it's going to be a victory! Okay, that was a good game. That was a good game. I had to put my brain under overdrive there. Wow, that was a lot of details that I had to be careful of. And I think that keeping the ovens off the board might have been the right choice there. Or seems to have been the right choice. Because they could have created a lot of food, they could have kept spamming the familiar, maybe they could have activated level 3 or something. I'm not sure. The devil would have targeted all these things. But yeah, a lot of ifs. I'm not sure, honestly. That was a difficult one to navigate. I just went with whatever I felt was the right choice in that moment. But yeah, glad that it led to a victory. And yeah, Ward, especially the Sleep-Cursed Faerie with the Sheltered by Ghosts, it's almost like hexproof. Like, Ward 4 is so high of a price that it's almost unpayable. Now, a Fatal Push +4, yeah, okay, you can 5 mana kill this creature. In some situations, that will deal with the problem and give them back perhaps something they need urgently. But most of the time, Ward 4 is just, yeah, it's a very high, it makes it very difficult to deal with this creature. Wow, that was a great game, I must say. Yeah, and that was also the last game of today's run, going 4-1 today. Yeah, I like this deck. I love it. I love that everything is flash, so you're except the Sleep-Cursed Faerie and Sheltered by Ghosts. So yeah, not everything, but a lot of things are instant and flash. You know, you have counters up. You just counter the most crucial thing, like the most devastating thing that could happen to you. You have the Sheltered, which deals with a lot of problematic things, gives you lifelink, which is also super relevant in a lot of matchups. In this one as well, the opponent's devils could have easily dealt a ton of damage to my face. So you have the Flood Maw, which is good against mono red or otherwise also problematic permanents. So yeah, a lot of pros for the deck. So yeah, I recommend you check it out and give it a try if you have the cards for it. But if you don't, then just watch me play the deck. And yeah, without further ado, thanks for watching. Have fun. See you in the arena and peace.